Another quick one today, so you guys don't have to worry about fast forwarding through the video. Render, one of the hottest altcoins in the market right now, and one, of course, that we've been talking about for a while. During an entire market consolidation, Render's value has reached its highest price point yet, which I think you will agree is remarkable for any project or token to do so, to buck the trend of an entire asset class. It's now sitting at over $11. And a lot of that recent run up has been, of course, in anticipation of the CEO, Jules Urbach, speaking at this Nvidia conference, a conference that I just so happened to have gotten back from. And I wish I could have stayed there for the extra day, but I wasn't able to. So I'm going to be, unfortunately, at home checking my screen, awaiting news like the rest of you. But I do think that we have and are about to see some more massive gains. Certainly from the show, the consensus seems to be that there's a lot of expectation and speculation about Render's footprint growing exponentially due to some of these pending partnerships and collaborations with giants in the sector like Nvidia, of course, ultimately driving up price a lot further. And I get it. Some of you may be thinking that after all of this price action we've been enjoying with Render, it seems now to be at a point where we may be not able to see any more rises in price, at least in the interim until crypto summer comes around, right? But I'm not so sure. Jules Urbach, the CEO, again, as we know, is good friends with Nvidia's founder, Jensen Huang. In fact, at the show, although I didn't see them, a lot of people were reporting them walking and talking around together a great deal, which makes sense if they're friends, of course, but it also could add fuel to the fire in terms of them having to plan for some big announcements, spending their time up until they do so today. So stay tuned for that, because that could be exciting, right? Jules has spoken at a lot of Nvidia's conferences in the past and has mentioned that this conference specifically is the most important for him since he very first spoke at a conference, which of course, again, adds a lot to the speculation that they have some big news to announce and we should all be getting excited about it. But whatever the announcements include, is there a chance that we will see that typical sell the news scenario play out? And the easy answer is maybe. As always, though, I think this is short-term, a short-term concern, not to be concerned about if you are indeed holding longer term. And by longer term, I don't mean 10 or 20 years. I mean at least until the end of this crypto cycle, right? One element, though, to pay heed to is that we are seeing some whale holders at present moving things around. We've seen some movements in the last few days, some even today, one with about 1 million render valued at just over $11 million moving to Binance, having made around $24 million worth of profit or so already. And though despite this move, they seem to have most of their render still tucked away. They still have about almost $20 million worth of render elsewhere. So if we're going to analyze this and get in the weeds, we could say that wallets like this maybe just wanted to get ahead of any of that anticipated kind of sell the news sell-off, all the while still keeping their head in the game for that longer term price appreciation, because no doubt it's going to come. With value plays like this, you can't really deny it. Now, along with some other recent shifts in wallets from big holders, it is providing a little bit of uncertainty to come. Most of that uncertainty, again, seems to be from people who have seen it all play out before and are waiting for that anticipated sell the news. Now, sometimes this in and of itself forms its own chain reaction. Other times we tend to avoid it. It all really is going to depend on what they have to announce. Now, as we know, when whales move or release positions, it can affect price, at least short term. Again, I keep saying short term just in case you're thinking that this is going to move price down to the lows and we're never going to see it come back up to this price point and beyond again. Not true. The chain reaction from this, though, may cause a slight panic sale for folks and price dips accordingly. Again, to me, and I'm going to drill this home, it's a short-term concern only if we do indeed see it play out. Now, we'll say that one thing we can depend on right now is market timing. Luckily, we're going through a lot of this exciting stuff all happening early on in this cycle. And so we can probably assume that with these value plays like this, like Render, we have most of the runway left in terms of price appreciation to go. We haven't even warmed up yet. And so please bear that in mind when you're trying to make life-changing decisions right now. We have got the majority of all those euphoric gains to go. We haven't hit euphoria yet. This isn't the time where we typically see the biggest moves in the altcoin market. So again, and you know my viewpoint on this, when we start seeing a lot of that TradFi volume really entering the market with all these ETFs and altcoin plays that are seemingly coming to fruition with these institutions, crypto bars that were set on market caps are going to be changed dramatically. We're simply not used to the volume yet. That is so apparent in those TradFi markets. Things are going to change, and bars that we had set before are going to be smashed. So please bear that in mind too. Render are already in a strategic partnership with Nvidia, with a VP of Nvidia's Omniverse even taking an advisory role in Render. Do you think these types of things are not opening doors right, left, and center and helping Render really attain and grab more of that easy market share? Of course it is, right? Nvidia have also spent $1.5 billion so far in AI investments alone for their 10-year vision of AI. We can probably assume Render's seeing a lot of that cheddar coming through, right? It just makes sense. Render is used for video and games, two massive sectors, and it's really versatile and accessible. It's a high likelihood that it's going to transform into a utility token for GameFi. And when we look at the huge companies within the gaming space looking for strategic partners, it's putting Render top of mind in those scenarios. I hope that conveys a little bit of my excitement levels when it comes to Render, because I really don't think we've scratched the surface yet. Price prediction for this cycle? Well, to be transparent, I bought this at around 3 cents initially. I've been DCAing in since then. So I have already seen some huge returns. Join our private group, link below, if you want to make some of these moves a lot earlier than everyone else. But regardless, am I taking profit now? No. Despite the potential of a sell the news short-term dip playing out, I don't intend to. There's too much left in the gas tank for me to justify. If anything, if I do see a dip, that's a good opportunity to keep buying. It sounds cliched, right? It's easy to say when there's blood in the streets or when things dip, make sure you buy. Don't chase those green candles. But ultimately, they're cliches for a reason. And something like this is basically a blueprint for when you should adhere to those rules. Meta and AI narratives cannot be underestimated right now. And so to me, we are looking at maybe over $100 token in the midterm. Such a useful utility token with so much versatility in a sector that's growing exponentially, coupled with the fact that we have mass amounts of volume entering the market. Come on, you've got to be a dummy not to see the potential here. Yeah, I'm optimistic about Render. Hope this helped. If so, please do like, sub, join our private group, join the community. Love to have you here. We're growing fast. And so please also leave some of your own expectations of how you think Render is going to perform going into this cycle. I'd love to hear it. I always love looking through the comments and seeing any of the thoughts and feelings that are coming from you guys. So go ahead and leave some comments also. Appreciate it. I'll catch you on the next one.